Okay, this is take two, because the first time was awful, because I was in a Discord call, and you could hear everyone, and it was sort of a shit show. I want this video to be a shit show to begin with, but, that was a bit much, so we're doing this again. So I've been instructed to do a book review of a light novel called Reborn as a Vending Machine. I Now Wonder the Dungeon. Um, it was lended to me by a friend. He told me it was awful, and I was like, I mean, sounds interesting. I'll give it a read. So he gave it to me. Well, not gave it to me. He lended it to me because he did buy it. Um, so he lends it to me, and he tells me, I expect you to do a book review, like a full-on book review. So I finished the book, and I was like, all right. I guess I gotta figure out how to work OBS. But you know what? I figured it out. It's not that hard at all. I'm just kind of dumb. Anyways, off of that tirade, this isn't edited, by the way, because I don't want to edit. It's 11:32 p.m. and this thing's due tomorrow. Not actually though. Like, what are they gonna do? Fail me? This isn't school. Okay, so Reborn as Vending Machine. Um, very. I'll start off um with the goods. Start off on a positive note. There are a lot of good things and a lot of potential in this book. Um, First off, one of my favorite things about this, honestly, is the artist kind of popped off. Really good artwork done. Sure, a lot of it seems kind of to be, comes off to just kind of be like fan service type stuff. But even so, artist is good. Um, and yeah, so good job, Itua Kato. Um, Good job, because the illustrations popped off. So in terms of the story though, very interesting concept, I will say. It starts off about some vending machine otaku or something. He's like obsessed with vending machines. I don't know why. He says it's because he likes the way they just eat up your money or something like that. It was something weird. I don't feel like going back in the book, even though I do have it in my hands. I don't want to go back. So he liked vending machines, and he even traveled the world to see different vending machines for I don't know the reason. He just liked vending machines, you know. And one time he was just kind of chilling, and a truck was unloading a vending machine, but it fell on him. Well, not fell on him. It fell, and it was like, oh, I gotta save it. And then he gets crushed and he dies, and the story ends. Just kidding. It's an isekai baby. So he's transported to another world. He is isekai, and it starts off really strong in terms of plot, where basically he has a set amount of points that he gets every day for selling items, or I guess just living, or something like that. And so he's by a lake though, and he hasn't seen anyone for days except for like some lizard people that tried attacking to him. And he discovers that if he saves up a certain amount of points, then he can take on a humanoid robot form where he can grow arms and legs rather than being a box that cannot move and can only say like a set amount of phrases. That's something that a vending machine would say, except I don't know what vending machine like speaks to you. I've never seen one. They probably exist. They probably exist in Japan. I don't know. But here in this wonderful country I like to call home, I've never seen a talking vending machine. Even if it just says thank you for your purchase. I've never seen that. So already kind of strange, but that was just me going on a tangent. Um so eventually though, uh when he was just ready to give up because he was just like, man, if I have to save up with like daily points every day, so I can take on a humanoid figure, then like this is gonna take forever. This is gonna suck. I wish I could die, but I can't kill myself because I don't have arms. Yeah, it was kind of sick. But the female protagonist comes along, and her name's Lamis. I should probably say the name of the of the protagonist. That would be a good idea. Yeah, his name is Boxo. Very creative. But yeah, Lamis comes up, and she is conveniently hungry. And then she's somehow able to figure out through Boxo speaking to her through his set amount of voices that she can buy stuff from him. And she's like, oh, word, let's buy some shit. So she buys some shit. She's like, this guy's pretty sick. And she picks the thing up and she takes it to a village. Cause she has like super strength or some shit. She like is not even aware of how strong she is. She's kind of an airhead. She's cool though, good character. I do like her. Um, so she takes him back to the little village, and everything's all golden. People are in awe over the vending machine because they've never seen anything like it. She claims it's a magical item, and she also just happens to know he's a living thing for whatever reason. But at least she does, because this plot wouldn't be going anywhere if that was the case. So I guess it makes sense, but it doesn't. I'm not gonna give the writer much shit for having to do weird like plot armor type shit. Considering the concept is so weird, I guess it makes sense. But I just prefer not to think about it at this point. It's like, how did she know? Oh well, who cares? Just kind of read it and enjoy the plot. It doesn't don't ask the hows and whys. Otherwise, you're not gonna have a good time reading this book. But off the pros now, I'm going to explain why you generally just wouldn't have a good time reading this book. Because I'm not gonna lie, um, I don't want to call it buns, considering it's only the first novel, and the rest of the series might end up being really good. Who knows? There are plenty of series out there that kind of have a piss poor start, but end up being really solid shows. So, um, it's very if you're familiar with how isekais work, or if you've like watched a lot of them, you'll probably realize that they are very formulaic. There's only like a couple dime in a dozens that are different that are really good. Some of them are like if like the isekais that end up being different from the others usually end up being some of my favorites, like ReZero, probably my second favorite show. No Game No Life's a good one. Konosuba, it's a pretty funny show at least, but yeah, those are all good shows because they kind of didn't go with the basic formula that goes by most isekais. And I was really hoping that this series would be an exception because it had a really interesting concept that you don't always see. It was some guy who was obsessed with vending machines, which I didn't even know those people exist. I still haven't done any research to see if they genuinely do exist, but I never knew that. And it was really interesting to me. So I really did have lots of high hopes for this book, but it ended up just being a total like not disaster. It's not like it fell apart and became unreadable. It's just kind of like once you've like seen how it goes for most isekais, it just kind of isn't interesting to read. Not to mention there's not a lot of action, which I mean isn't devastating to me. I'm not usually a huge fan of action scenes, but I feel like for something like this it would help because it lacks it. It lacks keeping you interested. It took me about a month to read this book, and it's what 200 pages, 200 pages, short pages, large text, and it took me a month to read. Sure, I am a slow reader, but like it shouldn't take me that long to read this book. Granted, there are other things going on in my life, and I can't consistently devote myself to read it, but it just wasn't interesting enough. There were other books I'd rather read. The new Bunny Girl Senpai novel came out recently, so I was reading that. And then I had to read some books for English class, and yeah. This book, though, never really came on the list to read because it's just kind of boring. It's just kind of the same crap you usually see in isekai. There's this kind of cheap fan service and just a generic plot, really. And once again, boring to read. Now, yes, I could read further into the series and see if it gets better. I really hope it does, because I would love to see the show be good. Not show, it's not adapted, but I would like to see the series be good, because I really was hoping it'd be good. The characters are pretty likable, but and the concept itself is good, but the story just isn't flowing how I wish it would. It's just not that good. Excuse my dogs. But so yeah, that's my take on this book. If you want to read it, check it out. Don't let any of the bad things I say discourage you. You might end up enjoying it. Um, and not to mention, if you want to read into like more of the series, you may find out that it's good. And please let me know if it is, because I'd like to hear if it is. Um, but yeah, that's it. Um, I don't know how to do an outro. This is the first time I've made a video. So yeah. See ya.